Judgment is a common thing. We all do it. It often feels automatic, like a reflex. We encounter a person, a situation, or an idea. Our minds quickly work to categorize it. Is this good or bad? Safe or risky? Right or wrong? This rapid assessment is one way our brains try to navigate a very complex world. It's an attempt to create order, to make sense of the constant flow of information around us. We are wired to notice, to sort, and to evaluate. Think about your day. You might scroll through social media. You might meet someone for the first time. You might hear a piece of news. In these moments, small judgments can form almost instantly. Sometimes these are harmless observations. Other times they carry more weight. But the act of judging itself is a deeply ingrained human behavior. It's not something reserved for overly critical people. It's a basic function, a starting point for how we often interact with what's new or different. This tendency to judge starts very early in our lives. As children, we learn from the world around us. We absorb the ways others talk about people and things. We pick up on cues about what is considered acceptable or unacceptable. These early lessons shape our own internal frameworks. Over time, judging can become a well-practiced habit, a go-to response when we feel uncertain or when we encounter something that challenges our existing beliefs. It's a familiar path for our thoughts to take, so recognizing that judgment is part of our shared human experience is important. It's not about shaming ourselves for judging, it's about bringing awareness to it. When we understand how common it is, how it shows up in our daily lives, we can start to look at it more closely. We can begin to explore why it happens, and we can consider its impact on ourselves and on our connections with other people. This awareness is the very first step. So, why does our mind so readily jump to judgment? A big part of it is about mental shortcuts. Our brains are constantly processing information. They look for ways to be efficient. This leads to using cognitive biases. These are like default settings in our thinking. For example, confirmation bias makes us seek out information that supports what we already believe. And we might ignore evidence that contradicts our initial judgment. This makes judging feel quick and justified, even if it's not entirely fair or accurate. Fear and insecurity also play a huge role. When we are feeling unsure of ourselves or perhaps a little scared, judging others can be a way to try and feel better. It can be a defense mechanism. If we can find fault in someone else, it might temporarily make us feel more secure or superior. It's a way of trying to manage our own uncomfortable feelings. By focusing outwards, we avoid looking inward at our own vulnerabilities. This is a very human, though often unhelpful, strategy. Our past experiences also shape our tendency to judge. Old hurts, disappointments, or betrayals can leave us feeling guarded. We might become quick to assume negative intentions in others. We might see new situations through the lens of old pain. Sometimes we project our own unacknowledged insecurities or flaws onto other people. The judgment we level at them is actually a reflection of something unresolved within us. It's less about the other person and more about our own story. Finally, judgment can sometimes stem from a need for control. The world can feel unpredictable and chaotic. People's actions can be surprising. By quickly labeling or categorizing someone or something, we can create a temporary illusion of order. It can make us feel like we understand, like we have a handle on things, but these labels are often too simple. They rarely capture the whole truth of a person or a situation. They limit our ability to see the full picture, the complexity. A judgment always comes with a cost. This cost is often paid in the currency of connection. When we approach others with judgment, we create distance. We build walls instead of bridges. True, meaningful connection requires openness, vulnerability, and a willingness to see and accept others as they are. Judgment slams the door on these possibilities. It communicates disapproval or superiority, and that makes it very hard for genuine relating to happen. It's a barrier to intimacy. Think about times you have felt judged. It doesn't feel good, does it? We often become defensive. We might withdraw to protect ourselves, or we might argue back, trying to prove the judgment wrong. Being on the receiving end of judgment can make us feel small, misunderstood, or unseen. It erodes trust within relationships. It can lead us to hide parts of ourselves, to wear a mask for fear of further criticism. We start performing for approval rather than showing up authentically. And then there's the impact of self-judgment. That critical inner voice can be incredibly harsh. Often the same standards and criticisms we apply to others, we turn fiercely upon ourselves. This constant self-critique eats away at our self-esteem and our sense of worthiness. It fuels feelings of shame and inadequacy. It can make us terrified of making mistakes, of being imperfect, of simply being human. This internal judgment can be just as damaging, if not more so, than any external criticism. This cycle of judging others, fearing their judgment, and judging ourselves is incredibly draining. It keeps us stuck in a pattern of negativity and separation. It robs us of joy, creativity, and peace. It makes it difficult to truly connect with our own experiences and with the people around us. Breaking free from this cycle requires courage. It requires a conscious choice to step onto a different path, a path that leads to more compassion and understanding for ourselves and for others. So what can we do to lessen the grip of judgment in our lives? The journey always begins with awareness. We need to start by simply noticing when we are engaging in judgment, catching ourselves in the act. There's no need for self-criticism here, just a gentle recognition. There's that judging thought again. This pause, this moment of noticing, creates a small but powerful space. In that space, we find the opportunity to choose a different response. Cultivating curiosity is one of the most effective ways to counteract judgment. Instead of immediately forming an opinion or a label, try to get curious. Ask yourself questions. I wonder what might be going on for that person. What experiences might have led them to this point? Is there another way to look at this situation? Curiosity shifts our focus from our own assumptions to a genuine interest in understanding. It opens the door to empathy and a broader perspective. Empathy is the ability to feel people. It's about trying to understand their feelings and perspectives, even if we don't agree with their actions or choices. It's recognizing our shared humanity. We all experience joy, pain, fear, and hope. When we connect with that common ground, judgment starts to soften. Empathy doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior. It means acknowledging the human being behind the behavior. It builds bridges of understanding where judgment creates divides. Finally, practicing self-compassion is absolutely vital. It's very difficult to extend compassion to others if we are constantly harsh with ourselves. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a good friend. Recognize that you too are learning and growing. Understand your own biases. We all have them. The goal isn't perfection, but progress. It's about making a conscious, ongoing choice to lean into connection, to choose empathy over judgment, one moment at a time.